Welcome to the Catholic Foodie Show. I'm Jeff Young, your host, the Catholic Foodie. So glad that you could join me today. We do have an exciting show lined up. I've got Tami Kiser of the Catholic Conference for Moms joining me a little bit later in the show. And boy, it was just so good to connect with Tami again. We got on the phone last night. I was able to record that for you, and I'm going to share it with you today. So that's very exciting. Stay tuned for that. Also, we've got a lot of things happening here down in New Orleans. I'm sure you are aware of this thing called the Mardi Gras. Well, it's things are ramping up, folks. Things are ramping up. We've got big parades coming up this coming weekend. We had some pretty big parades this past weekend, and I'm going to share a little bit about Mardi Gras with you. And I'll be checking in with you from time to time over the next few days to give you some highlights of parades, and also just kind of maybe tell you a little bit about some of the background of Mardi Gras. I love it. I love this time of year. I love carnival season. It's good, you know. It kind of helps things balance out. You've got Lent, of course, which is a time of fasting and abstinence, and here we are in carnival season, kind of feasting it up a little bit, you know, getting ready for Lent. So we'll talk about that on the show today. We do have some feedback, and yes, it is Mardi Gras related. You know, one of the things I've been talking about, you probably have heard me mention this just once or twice, or maybe more, the last few weeks here, is this phenomenon that we have down in New Orleans, South Louisiana, all over South Louisiana, really, called the king cake. You know, it's not unique to New Orleans. There are other cultures around the globe that celebrate with a king cake, although they do it in a different way. The name king cake is associated with King's Day, or the Feast of the Epiphany, every year, which traditionally, historically, is January 6th. It is the 12th day, right? The 12th, you've heard 12th day, 12th night. It's referring to this Feast of the Epiphany, the 12 days of Christmas. And when the kings, the wise men, traveled from the east, they followed the star, and they come to visit the Christ child. They come to visit Jesus and pay him homage and give him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And we commemorate that feast day in the church and in Christian cultures historically with various celebrations. And a cake is one of those. And we do that because, well, first of all, the cake is round. So it's sort of symbolic of a crown. And we can associate that crown both with the kings that come to visit Jesus, but also with Jesus, who is a king, right? The King of Kings. And also we have the tradition in all the cultures of placing some sort of object inside of the cake. Here in New Orleans, it is today at least a plastic baby. A little bitty plastic baby is put into the cake. It represents the baby Jesus. In times past, before we were able to do the things that we can do with plastic, it was a pecan shell or even a bean. And but today we have the plastic baby. And no, a little culinary tip here: you do not want to bake a king cake with the baby in it. Plastic under heat tends to do what? It tends to melt. We don't want to eat plastic. We don't want to have plastic cooking inside of our cake, right? You put the baby in after the fact. Matter of fact, when you buy a king cake today, because we live in a culture, in a society that is overrun by attorneys, and what do they call it? A litigious society. You know, people like to sue, right? Hot coffee. You know, when you go to McDonald's and you order coffee, it's going to be hot, right? Hot coffee. So in a litigious society such as ours, you now can buy king cakes that will have, or actually any king cake you buy, they're going to have some sort of a note, a little sign, a little symbol there saying, you know, caution, like don't choke on the baby or whatever. Well, oftentimes that baby isn't even in the cake. You as the purchaser will put that in the cake. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. Matter of fact, let's talk about king cake right now. You know, I was so excited because on Facebook. I have had over the last a few weeks, I've talked about king cake here and there over the last few weeks since January 6th, and I've had just the joy, the pleasure of having folks in different parts of the country make king cake, and they'll send me pictures. I have a recipe over at CatholicFoodie.com. I have talked about it here on the show. If you missed that show, you can find it over at CatholicFoodie.com. You could probably even just Google Catholic Foodie and king cake, and the link will come right up. And so I've had folks around the country who have made king cakes using that recipe, and they send me pictures, and I'm just so thrilled to see this. I love it when people try new things in the kitchen. I love adventure, being adventurous in the kitchen. I love to play around. For me, it is. It's like play. It's relaxation. I love that. So to share that joy with other people, have them experience it, is just a lot of fun, not to mention the fact that it is sort of sharing our culture here in New Orleans with people who are not here, sharing it with the world. And I enjoy that as well. So I was just delighted to get a little voice feedback from Treese, who is a listener of the Catholic Foodie and has become over time a friend of mine. So Treese made a king cake, and she called in and left some feedback for us. So let's go ahead and listen to this right now.
Hi, Jeff. I just wanted to give you some feedback. This is Treese in St. Louis. As you see from Facebook, I posted a picture of my first homemade king cake. I think I've been saying I was going to make one for years and years, but I actually had a very good reason to do it this time. I'm doing the Mardi Gras party for my son's 5th grade class in 2 weeks, and I promised to make a king cake. So I wanted to do a practice one, and I actually have a nice reason for this one as well. Today is going to be my last day at my office job. I've been working for this particular company for about 18 years, and I finally decided to cut my ties and just try to go freelance only. Not exactly the same thing as what you did, but similar and a little bit scary. I'm hoping it works out. I picked up a big client just recently, so I think I can make things even without having 3 part-time jobs. I teach at a university, and then I'm going to just do freelance now. So I hope my king cake tastes wonderful. I will definitely report back to you and let you know if it tastes as good as it looks. So I'm happy with how it turned out so far. And hopefully the next one will be even more awesome for my son's 5th grade Mardi Gras party. God bless.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is so exciting. Oh, first of all, congratulations. And man, that's a big step. It's a big step, but that is fantastic. I know you do great work. I've seen some of your work, and I'm very, very excited for you, Treese. And I wish you all the best. You will be in my prayers, certainly. And also, I want to just say, you're so smart. To practice, it's like I tend to jump into things without doing what you're doing. You're actually practicing making the king cake, and that is just an awesome thing to do. I recommend that. I do recommend. I don't always follow my own advice, but I do recommend that. So to practice making something first is fantastic. All good stuff. And you know what? Treese did post on Facebook pictures of the king cake that she called in and talked about. And I'm going to post that over in the show notes at CatholicFoodie.com, so you can see her handiwork. She did an excellent job. And she did follow up. She did follow up on Facebook as well. She followed up and mentioned that it tastes great too. So it didn't just look pretty, it also tasted very good. You can follow the Catholic Foodie on Facebook, by the way. Just go to facebook.com/Catholic Foodie and you'll find it there. I got lots of pictures that I post, and a lot of folks like to engage with me there, make comments, and we have discussions kind of off air, right? Not while I'm on the show. It's kind of an all the time thing. Facebook is always there, so you're welcome to join us over at Facebook. And again, Treese, thank you so much for calling in. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and congratulations to you. Wow. Awesome stuff. Good stuff. Well, folks, I did mention earlier that something is happening right here in New Orleans. Something. Oop, what's that? Oh, yeah. It is Mardi Gras time. It is certainly Mardi Gras time. And, we talk about Mardi Gras. We talk about Carnival. And Carnival starts really for us down here January 6th. And that whole season goes through, through Mardi Gras Day. That Tuesday, we call it, Mardi Gras, which is next Tuesday. Wow, next Tuesday already. And when we get to this last little bit here of Carnival season, 2 weeks out, we got 2 weekends in a row, boom, boom, 2 weekends in a row where we have big parades. Big parades in New Orleans, you got parades elsewhere and in surrounding cities too. And I got to go to 2 parades this past weekend, and we're gearing up for the big parades this coming weekend. I'm going to share with you some audio footage or audio whatever from the last few years of times that we were at the parades. So you can kind of get a little taste for what it's like. It's kind of crazy. It's a lot of fun. And I want to dispel some myths this week surrounding Mardi Gras. It is not necessarily the same as you hear and see portrayed in the national media. There's a very family-friendly element to Mardi Gras, so I will share that with you this week. I'm very excited because we do have Tami Kiser joining us here on the Catholic Foodie Show to talk about an upcoming event that I'm just thrilled about, and I think you're going to really get a lot out of this conversation today. It's called the Catholic Conference for Moms. I got lots of details, of course. Tami's going to share a lot with us what this conference is about and how you can participate in this conference, and just so excited. We do have to take a break. We're coming right up on a break here. You are listening to the Catholic Foodie Show here on Breadbox Media. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the Catholic Foodie Show. I am Jeff Young, your host. I'm so excited that you are here with me today. We are going to have an awesome guest join us in just a couple of minutes. Tami Kiser, who is the mastermind behind a phenomena that's called the Catholic Conference for Moms. This is the second year for the conference. Tami is you may have heard of her. She's known as the Smart Martha, and she has a website, the Smart Martha, and she has really produced a lot of content, done workshops, seminars, helping moms to be the Smart Martha without losing touch with Mary, right? That scene from the gospel when Jesus visits Martha and Mary, one of them very industrious, but sort of loses touch with what was most important, right? Jesus and that relationship. And then Mary, who had the better part, but Mary also wasn't the one helping with all the duties that needed to be done around the house. So Tami kind of blends these two things together to try to really bring them together. And she has been pouring herself into this phenomena. And it really is a phenomena, I think, because you see Catholic women across the country who are coming into a deeper understanding of their faith and also a deeper deeper place of maybe security, a deeper place of comfort, of confidence in the daily grind that they find themselves in. Motherhood is not easy, and I'm a dad, right? But I can see it. And I know motherhood is not easy. And so she's got this thing, this Catholic Conference for Moms, that really brings inspiration, hope, encouragement to moms in the trenches. And it's not something you have to go fly off to go to. You don't have to drive anywhere. It comes to you. And I'm so excited about this because it makes really good, helpful, spiritual encouragement available to moms everywhere. And I just love it. And there is a cost to it, but it's like, the cost of a book, it's cheap. And for what you get, it's just absolutely an amazing thing. So Tami Kiser is joining us here on the Catholic Foodie Show. I'm so excited and such a pleasure to have her. And let's join her right now. Well, folks, I got to tell you, I am so excited to have Tami Kiser joining me today here on the Catholic Foodie Show. I had the pleasure of meeting Tami in person. I believe it was up in New Jersey. Is that right?
It was at the Catholic Marketing Network, right?
At the Catholic Marketing Network. That was just a few months back. I think beginning of August, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't trust my memory too well.
It was summer and it was hot anyway.
It was. And it was a delight. It was a delight to meet you in person. And it is a delight to have you here with me on the show today. So welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. And I'm equally pleased to be here, I think.
Oops. That happens from time to time.
That is my same ring, too.
Yeah, well.
I recognize it, but I'll turn my phone off, too.
Technology. Well, it was, I'm so glad to have you on the show today. You are kind of the mastermind, or maybe we should say the instrument in God's hands behind a phenomenon, an event, something that is very good for Catholic women, for Catholic moms, but also Catholic husbands, Catholic fathers, because
Sure.
we all love when our moms are well fed and are happy and are content in the grace of God. And the event I'm referring to is the Conference for Catholic Moms. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I just want to comment that, if mom ain't happy, nobody happy.
That's true.
I always say.
That's true.
So yeah, this is great for moms. And I'm excited because it feels like it's starting to become a great phenomena. I see word spreading and I hear from people all over the country that are really excited about it. But what this really is it's just a way to connect moms, and it's a tool for moms to use to connect together as well. So there's really two aspects to it. And the one aspect is it's an online conference. And it's an online conference in the sense that there are speakers that they can hear. And these are like some of the top speakers that you would hear at top conferences all over the United States. And I even have a little swag bag that I'm giving out like that, like you get at conferences. So that's kind of cool. But it's online so that moms really have so much freedom with this that they can pull up these presentations and listen to them whenever they want. They can listen to one a day. There also is MP3s, so they can download them and take them with them. So it's like a conference, but then it has that flexibility that I know busy moms really need. So that's one aspect of it. And then the other aspect that I've really been working hard this year, and I didn't have this as last year as part of a conference, is I'm trying to get parishes to host this at their home parishes or for their moms group, because I really feel it's important for moms to get together and to support one another. And so parishes all over the United States, and you can pull up this little map on the homepage of my website. You can see where different parishes are putting on this conference. And so it's exciting hearing from them and hearing about their plans to hold this conference and the ideas that they're doing. And, so they're excited about pulling their moms together and having a conference. And some of these are little parishes. These are little cities that, I've never heard of, but yet they're able to have these top speakers come to their parish in this, with the wonder of the internet. So that's kind of exciting.
It's an amazing gift. Matter of fact, I think it was just this past week that Pope Francis referred to technology, the internet, all the things that we enjoy now, as he referred to them as gifts of God. And this is a wonderful way to be using these gifts of God, to bring inspiration, to bring encouragement to moms and to families. So as far as some of the speakers you mentioned, what kind of lineup do you have this year? Who can folks anticipate hearing from?
Well, there's so many. I hate to just pick out a few. It's like, who am I going to favor? They're all really good. And Jeff, I want to tell you, I've taken on the hat of filmer, and I don't know if that's what you would call that, the person who runs the film, who runs the camera. Mm-hmm. And I know when the first year we did the conference, I had my son do some of them, and I had some people send me their own because they lived too far away. And my son was going to like a film school at the time, so he had experience in this. And since then, my son has gone on to other career paths. He's in his 20s, not sure what he wants to do. But he's abandoned me, but that was okay because the internet can teach us many, many things. So I did that online course of how to film. And, and I learned a lot from him last year as well. So I pulled my resources, bought some nice cameras, pulled in another son to help me this year. So I have my other son helping, and we decided we would film them all ourselves so that they had that same quality and that same look. And so it was fun. We've got to go into people's homes, got to meet them, see their family, and set up the camera, and then film their talk. And then after that, I have the job of also editing all of these. And so what a blessing it was to listen to some of these talks over and over again. And I was new with the editing program when I first started, and I've had some experience in editing before I even started all this. But it's always frustrating, anything you do with technology, and you're trying to get everything hooked up right, and, it never does what it's supposed to do. And then I kept hearing, like, for instance, I'd hear Gary Zimak's talk about overcoming anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like panicking, trying to so I'm like cursing at the computer, and I can't get this right. And I have to hear Gary say over and over again, trust in the Lord, trust in Jesus, trust in Jesus. That's how you overcome this stress. It'll all be okay. So it's just kind of funny. Just the ways I've been touched by some of these talks and some of these speakers have just been really amazing.
That's a beautiful message, too. I know we've had Gary on the show here at the Catholic Foodie, and I love the message because I need to hear it. I tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist, and I need that mercy, right? That mercy and the freedom that comes with the grace of God and the love that He has for us. And the theme this year of the conference will take into account the fact that we're in the year of mercy.
Yes, and so that's been wonderful, having a theme for the year. So all these speakers somehow touch on mercy, and they all, of course, are addressing mothers. And another thing I want to mention, too, is that all the presentations are about 20 minutes long, which is a great length for something that is pre-recorded like that. And it's a great length for moms to sit still and listen to. Moms are kind of busy. It's hard to get us to sit still. But 20 minutes, we can sit still, we can listen to this and go about our ways. And if you have a conference or something, there's discussion questions. So after listening to a talk for 20 minutes, you can get together and discuss some of these topics. And so we have people explaining what mercy is. There's a catechesis of mercy. There's a lot of talk about forgiveness. Many of the speakers, like Alison Gingras, she talks about forgiveness. Simca Fisher does a wonderful talk on forgiveness, and she goes into really the depths of what it takes to forgive someone and some of the problems we have when we do that. We have Lisa Duffy, who has a ministry to women who've been divorced and mothers who've been divorced. I know sometimes they feel outside the church and don't feel part of a conference like this. So I thought it was really important we had somebody, especially this year, Mercy, the church is opening the doors wide. We want these people to come back. And she talks about, the forgiveness she had to go through when she had her divorce and had to forgive her ex-husband. And so we have lots of talks about forgiveness. Another thing we talk about, like I said, you talked about mercy, and mercy covers a broad topic, of course, but in particular, we have Michelle Fanley and Emily Jaminet, who just have a book out this month called Mercy for Mothers or something like that. But they talk about St. Faustina, and I did not know much about St. Faustina. I knew she did Divine Mercy, but they really look at her life and talk about some of the ways that she lived and some of the ideals that she followed really applied to mothers, and so they made that connection. And I thought that was an excellent talk too, to learn about St. Faustina and how she really was an apostle of mercy and brought to us divine mercy.
We got to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to the Catholic Foodie Show on Breadbox Media. But this is such a big undertaking, and I remember when we were in New Jersey, I think I mentioned that to you. I mean, I was just so blown away that to put something together like this, like you did last year and then again this year, this is a huge undertaking, and you got to have, and you do it so well, first of all, so there's a lot of grace involved and just finesse, in the whole process, but there's got to be some sort of maybe inspiration or story behind it. Like, what was the inspiration behind even doing this conference?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I really feel it was an inspiration, and some of it was because I I don't know if you're familiar with my Smart Martha ministry, but prior to this, I had a ministry called Smart Martha. Mm-hmm. And I had a book out, and I was traveling around the country, and I would do these all-day conferences or seminars for moms. And I would pull these moms together. And it was just very inspiring, I tell you, to see the moms get together and just be so encouraging to each other. It wasn't even so much the message that I was giving to them, but the message I was trying to give to them is the whole Mary Martha story. And I would talk practically about sort of the Martha stuff, about just some organizational things, cleaning things. I was really big about dinner. So just sort of those practical aspects of mothers. And of course, that would pull a lot of people in, because mothers really, every mother wants to be more organized, clean house better, do dinner better, all that kind of thing. So I pull a lot of mothers into it, but then I would try to tie in the whole Mary part of the Mary Martha story, that, we need to get our priorities straight, and we need to make sure that we pay attention to the most important thing, which is Jesus first, and then our family and those other people in needs above all these other things that moms have to do, and how that's a really delicate balance. And so it's just a lot of fun. We'd have moms get together and talk about these things, and just really, like I said, be encouraging to each other. And so I saw that, and I really liked that experience, and I kind of wanted to multiply that effort a little bit. And so that's where sort of the idea of having a conference that moms can have in their parishes. So I don't have to travel to all these parishes myself. Let's put it that way. I can use the internet, send these speakers to all these other parishes, and then just the power of moms getting together and praying and, talking about their faith together, I think has a lot of power. And I had a daughter who turned 3 at the time, which meant she no longer got to fly on the airplane for free. Mm-hmm. Under 2, you can take that baby toddler with you. Once they turn over 2, actually, you have to start paying for her flight. And I certainly wasn't ready to leave my 2-year-old toddler at home. So I'm like, I'm hanging up the Smart Martha traveling thing for a while. What else can I do? And I started looking at webinars. Could I do that with a webinar? And maybe eventually I'll start someday, get back to a Smart Martha webinar that can be used in parishes too. But then this idea came up after I saw some of the things that some Protestant ministries are doing. And I just combined them all together.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is true for, I know a lot of moms, when you're in the trenches, right? I mean, it can feel very lonely.
Right. Exactly.
And I know it. I mean, we have 3 teenagers, and we've got a new baby. She's not even. She'll be 8 months next week, I think, or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So it's just, we have the whole spectrum kind of going on right now.
Right. I know. We do too.
And I remember we had 3 under 3. 3 and 3 years, under 3, like 3 and 2.5 years, I believe. And so I can think back to those times when my wife was at home with the 3 kids, 3 babies, all in diapers, and I'm off at work, and sometimes those were difficult days. Those were not easy days. And even when you have friends, and people you can reach out to, you can still feel like the weight of the world. You can feel very lonely and kind of isolated.
You need every kind of reminder that you can get, or you'll just, fall deep into depression sometimes, and that happens to mom. And so you need those friends, and then you need that message, like a message coming constantly, whether, a consistent prayer time, all these kind of things help. And so I'm hoping that this conference will be another tool. It's easier than having to open up a prayer book. You just have to hit play on your computer. And yet there's these, entertaining, powerful messages that will help mothers, I think. And they can listen to these too while they're doing dishes, while they're changing baby diapers, while they're in the laundry room, that kind of thing.
And that's so important, I think, because we experience the church, the universal church. We only really experience it at the local level, right? We experience it in our parishes. And not every parish is the same. And some parishes have young families. I remember when we moved to this area, it's the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans. My wife and I first moved, we had just had our first baby. And so we started to go to this one parish down the road, and we stood out like a sore thumb because the congregation was just an older congregation. And so, we have a crying baby, and we just didn't feel in place, in the right place. And so we started going to a different parish with lots of young families, lots of kids, no cry room. So there's lots of crying babies during Mass. and we felt at home. We felt we blended in. Nobody heard our baby crying because everybody else's baby was crying, right? And so we experienced the church has this wonderful message, but depending on where we are in our parish, it is different. Not everybody's going to be fed the same way in different parishes. And so to have something that is just so portable, something that is just so accessible, that is bringing a message like this to moms, that is genius. It's just genius. So thank you for putting something like this together.
Sure. We just got to get the word out. You know, I feel like we've got, like you said, I feel like I've been blessed with these wonderful presentations. You know, they've lent themselves to me in this way. I just want to, like you said, I want to get that message out there so that people can take advantage of this.
Well, let's talk about that in a specific way, right? If someone wants to sign up to be a part of this conference, to receive all of the presentations that you have put together, what do they have to do?
Well, they just have to go to the website, and it's www.catholicconference, the number 4, and then the word moms. Okay. So www.catholicconference for moms. And if you Google that, you'll find it. You'll come right to the website. And there, once you're on the website, you'll see there's a place to register. So you can register as an individual, meaning that you'll be just watching these presentations yourself in your home whenever you get a chance. And they're available all throughout Lent. So I know last year we just did it over a weekend, like a conference, but I thought, well, why not have it available all through Lent? Because if you've got a busy weekend, you're not going to get to see them all. So this way, you can watch whichever ones you want, whenever, all throughout Lent. And then also, if you still are interested in, if you think you can pull it together at your parish, and there's not much sometimes to pull together, you just can invite some moms and play some of these things, and you can have a priest come in and open up in prayer. You can meet after Mass, whatever you want to do to make your own conference. It can be like a retreat day, and many parishes or moms groups are just using it like their weekly book meeting or something like that, where they meet together, they watch a presentation, and then they can talk about it. So you can also purchase it that way, that you're going to use it in your parish.
Okay.
And so there's 2 options, and you'll see those both on the website.
Awesome. And so the when they let's say someone signs up for to see it at home, to participate in the home, they have their video presentations. So you have that. People can sit and watch. Now, what happens if they're on the go? You know, which I know a lot of moms, like right now with the teenage years, that's what we've got. My wife is in the car. She's zooming all over the place, bringing the girls to dance or to gymnastics, and my son to Boy Scouts and all that. What about them? Is there a way to listen to them? And
if you got a good data plan, you can still just watch them on your iPhone. I don't know how closely you watch that. We are pretty good, but you can also just download them as MP3s.
Perfect.
So that's real easy. Those are smaller files that you can just listen to the talks, and the talks don't have a lot of. You're not missing anything by just listening to the audio, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's perfect, because so if you've got like a smartphone or like an iPhone or an Android phone, or if you have an iPod, any kind of MP3 player, you can download it to that, and you can be at home. You could be doing laundry. You could be bathing the kids. You could be driving carpool, whatever it may be. You still have access to all of this.
Right. So if you don't have Wi-Fi, that's really a good way to go. And if you have Wi-Fi, they're available there all the time online.
That's awesome. That's great.
I also want to mention too, Jeff, I don't know if you saw this, but we are trying something fun to kick the conference off, and it gets started February 20th. But we're going to do 2 live stream segments. The first live stream is going to be at 10:30, and that's Eastern time. So I know that might be early for you people across the United States, but we're going to live stream Jennifer Fulwiler.
Oh, yeah.
So we're all looking forward to that. She is speaking at a conference in Columbus, Ohio, and she's agreed to let us live stream her. So that's going to be available to everybody who signs up for the conference. They just have to go there, and they'll be able to hear her do her talk. And that eventually that'll be added to the other presentation. So if you miss it live, you'll get to hear her not live, but it's the idea that we're all together listening to this, so that's kind of fun. But probably what's more exciting being all together is at 3 o'clock on this kickoff day, February 20th, it's a Saturday, is at 3 o'clock we're going to all gather and say the Divine Mercy Chaplet together.
Oh, wow.
So I think that'll be kind of, it'll be a neat experience. I'm trying to think, maybe in future years I'll figure it out. I wish there was some way we could show everybody across the whole, everybody who's tuning in right now, put all these pictures up of different parishes and moms group praying it together. But, and that one we're just going to do from my hometown here in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm also holding the conference here with some mom groups as well here. So we're having our own live conference here. And so we're going to broadcast that chaplet. And the chaplets, it's not the rosary. We use a rosary bead. Mm-hmm. But I think it's kind of neat during this year of mercy to share that that devotion with people. I mean, many people don't know and aren't familiar with it. It's certainly a little bit easier to say than the rosary because it's shorter. Mm-hmm. It's a great one for moms to have with their kids because, like I said, it's not as long as the rosary. I'm not downplaying the rosary, don't get me wrong. That's my favorite prayer is the rosary. Oh, yes. But it is another nice prayer to have in your arsenal. It's a little bit shorter, and particularly in this year of mercy, I think it's something that maybe we all could learn to do and have a devotion to that.
We got to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to the Catholic Foodie Show on Breadbox Media. Welcome back to the Catholic Foodie Show. I'm Jeff Young, your host, and we are talking today with Tami Kiser, the Catholic Conference for Moms, and let's get right back to that conversation. Absolutely. And what a beautiful use of technology, huh? To bring people together live and that way to pray.
Right. And what's neat about it, Jeff, is that the live streaming doesn't hardly cost anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, it's there, it's all available. So that's how you say, that's how somebody like me, I don't have any resources, I'm putting kids through college and so, but I'm able to, invest a little bit of money, but get this presentation up and out there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. So it's going to be available all throughout Lent, all the presentations. And people can download the MP3 files if on the go. That's very accessible. See, that's good. See, that's like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had it right. You can buy a Coke anywhere. You can get a Coke in the grocery store. You can get it at restaurants. You can get it from machines just peppered throughout the city. I mean, it's pretty smart. You want it to be accessible, and you've got something that's a lot better than Coca-Cola going on here. So that's fantastic. Do you have? And I'm sure you have. I always love to hear stories, and I know the ones I have people who email me from time to time, and they tell me, which is kind of crazy because all I do is talk about food and faith and eating together. But believe it or not, I actually do have people who write to me or call in and tell me that something that I said, somehow, some way, God used that to make an impression on them. And with a conference like this, I'm certain that you've had a lot of people, just a lot of positive feedback of just how helpful this has been. Do you have any stories off the top of your head that you could maybe share?
I'm trying to think on the top of my head.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Did put me on the spot. I'm looking at this year's people because the people who are hosting it have already got the copies of the presentation.
Oh, wow.
So that they can preview them because they can pick which ones they're going to show at their conference. So that was part of that they get these ahead of time. That was one of the perks. So they've been watching them, and I've gotten so much positive feedback from them. The one woman is excited because she's using this as a way to jumpstart a mom's group at their church.
Oh, yes.
So she's been trying to get a mom's group going, and so finally the pastor said, yeah, you can do this. So she's really hoping she'll get a good turnout. And then from there, I think you get, like I said, you get moms together and you sort of plant something in their hearts. And you let them experience what this is like to sort of support each other in their spiritual growth, as well as support each other with how tough it is to be a mom sometimes. And I'm looking forward to hearing about what happens after this happened, But I just know from my own personal experience, Jeff. I mean, I look back, and what has helped me so much is that I've been a part of all these mothers groups. Everywhere I've moved, I've went ahead and either formed a mothers group or I'd found one that was already there. And I just think how much that really has fed me in my faith and really helped me along that journey. And then, like I said, being home with toddlers is rough. And you have someone else who can at least cry with you and, help you when you're angry, or just someone to, if you have questions or something. So I am really looking forward to hearing stories about that. But sorry, I don't have any real specific things. We'll have to see what comes up. Oh, no, I did hear a specific one about someone who previewed one. They hadn't been, didn't know anything about the Divine Mercy devotion. And after hearing one of these, they've turned, they want to try to do that more during this year of mercy. So that was one way that one woman has been changed. And she said, it was a godsend that she got to hear that talk. So
yeah, that's beautiful. I know it's so often, things happen naturally when there's a venue for it, when there's a place for that, where there's a space to connect. And that's what you're doing here, whether it's going to be in a parish setting where you have women who are coming together to actually watch the presentations, or even in the home, or with the live events that you're talking about. You really are given a venue or a space for people to connect. And that's when that happens, naturally, God pours out his grace and things happen, connections happen.
I mean, even online, it's just, I know that other moms are watching this, and some of these talks, many of them are moms, and I know there's dads in there too, but they share, they're sharing their struggles. And so just for someone to hear that, someone else has struggled with this, and here's what they tried, and it failed, and here's what else they tried, but it worked, so it's just good to hear those stories from other people. And so in a way, it is like you're with another person, because you're hearing them pour their heart out to you. And so you can be encouraged by that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I think. I've been reflecting on this recently quite a bit, that oftentimes the things that I share with people that they find valuable frequently are the times I'm talking about my failures. I'm talking about my vulnerabilities, the struggles, the pain, the difficulties. When I share those things with people, it resonates. And I can't tell you, there are a few writers that I really, really love, and I try to, everything they post online, I try to read, simply because that's their approach. Their approach is to share their own vulnerability, and it resonates so well with me. So, wow, there's a lot of freedom comes from that. A lot of healing, I think, comes out of that when we can do that with each other. And the venue, this conference that you have put together, it opens the door to that. So I want to thank you again. And again, we're all running out of time. So I want to thank you for being here today. Tami, thank you for joining me on the Catholic Foodie Show. And one last time, can you tell us how can people sign up?
Sure. Go to the website, www.catholicconferenceformoms.com. And the number is, instead of 4 is a number 4. You can find a Facebook page with that, and a Twitter. If I get around to it, I'll do an Instagram. That's what I hear is good. And I just want to call attention to that we have a swag bag. I mentioned that. So for individuals who sign up online, they have this swag bag they get. And, that's that thing you get at a conference. It's usually a plastic or canvas bag, and it's full of coupons and, chip clips and stuff like that. But this doesn't have any of that kind of garbage or extra junk like that. It actually has like coupons, and there are some freebies from free downloads. And so there's some kind of extra incentive to get people to sign up for this, because it's kind of fun to get those gifts. You get these gifts and then discounts, coupons. If you have any, like I said, any Catholic shopping stuff you have to do, you definitely want to get a hold of this, because it'll help save you money in shopping. And then at some time, I forget, I think right before Ash Wednesday starts, maybe during Mardi Gras, I think we're going to start the prizes, and we're going to give out prizes to people too. So that's kind of exciting. I know last year we got to give out your book, Jeff. So that was a very nice prize that somebody got.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah, is there time for me to throw something in there?
Oh, sure. Of course there is. So if you want to send another, and we're picking the prizes, and you can just send it to the winner. So you just let me know. And
okay, well, we'll work something out. I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah.
And what if there's someone listening right now who's, because we still have a little under 3 weeks before this kicks off.
Sure.
Okay,
and
so
you
we
know,
still
they
have
can
time.
even do it. Like I have many people not doing it on February 20th because they had something going on at their parish. They said, "Can we have it later?" And I said, "Well, of course. If you buy that package, you can download all the presentations.
Right.
You can have it in the middle of summer if you want.
Oh, awesome.
Still part of the year of mercy. So
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah, if you want to get this package, you can and do it at a later date, or if you can fit it in Lent, great.
And what if someone's listening right now and they say, "Oh man, this is so awesome. I want to help spread the word." Where can we send them?
Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I do have an affiliate program because this conference is different because we're not one of the major publishers of Catholic material, so it's kind of like that grassroots effort here with online, like with iPod. I mean, what do I want to say? Podcasts.
That's right.
And a lot of mommy blogs out there because I know that's where the everyday Catholic mom is getting some of her information, and Facebook. So I'm really trying to use that grassroots effort there through the internet. And so I have a nice affiliate program. So if you have a blog or a podcast show, a radio show, you could certainly become an affiliate, and that information is online too.
Same website?
Same website. Look for that affiliate, and there's like an affiliate. You earn a little bit of money as an affiliate. Don't expect to. I am trying to share the wealth with you.
Yeah.
And also, if you're an affiliate too, you can offer the conference at a discount to your people too. I know, Jeff, you're an affiliate. And so if people go online and order the conference and use the term foodie, they get $4 off. So normally individual online registration is $14.99, but if you use the coupon code foodie, then you get it for $10.99.
Awesome.
And so if other affiliates wanted to set up something like that too, you could get your readers or bloggers a discount as well.
That is just so beautiful. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Tami, for joining me here on the Catholic Foodie Show. It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun. I mean, one of these times we have to talk about food, though.
Well, I talk about food from time to time.
I know.
I'd love to. I'd love to have you back. Maybe we can do a follow-up after the conference and have you back on.
All righty. Sounds good, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Well, again, it was such a delight to have Tami join me here on the Catholic Foodie Show. I hope you got a lot out of that. It was delightful for me. It was a joy. And again, at CatholicConferenceForMoms.com, and the 4 in there is the number 4, CatholicConferenceForMoms.com. As Tami mentioned on the show, I do have a discount code. If you want to get the package for the parish, it would be Foodie Host is the discount code. You get a discount on that, Foodie Host. And if it's just you as an individual, if you want to take advantage of this conference, you get a discount on that too. And it is the code for that is just Foodie. So you can be a foodie like me, get a discount. It's a lot of fun. You're going to love it. Catholic Conference for Moms. I am Jeff Young, your host of Catholic Foodie. So glad that you joined me here today. I am going to include something in that little grab bag that you get. It's going to be free shipping on a book, my book, Around the Table with the Catholic Foodie. More information over at CatholicConferenceForMoms.com. Until tomorrow, bon appetit.